Americans for Prosperity is the tax-exempt conservative political organization set up by David and Charles Koch, and they've been very active, spending a lot of money to influence elections around the country. They've been very active, and they're getting more active. We've got a chart for you of how much they've been spending each year recently. John? Yeah, today's chart day. In just 2012, they spent $122 million influencing elections around the country, and that is more than from 2004 through 2011. And so it has just been ramping up in the wake of Citizens United.
So, look, Citizens United isn't the thing that corrupted our politics. It was already massively corrupt before Citizens United. The decisions that made that happen were back in the late 1970s, where we decided money was speech and then corporations were human beings and they could spend money to buy our politicians. But Citizens United, as I said from the first day of the decision on, put that money in politics that have been corrupting and corroding our system of government and our democracy, it put it on steroids. So now the Koch brothers, who used to spend tens of millions of dollars corrupting our politics, spend hundreds of millions of dollars corrupting our politics. You know, Wes, you were saying before the show, what the hell do they spend all that on? So yeah, they wasted $35 million trying to beat Obama, and they didn't, right? They spent a lot of money trying to beat Tammy Baldwin in Wisconsin, and they didn't. But they're down at the micro level. They're spending money on school boards because they believe in privatizing education and profiting off of that and making sure that the kids in the public schools don't, like, I mean, they're unbelievable.
What did, Democrats in the 2012 election got, what, 2 million more votes in Congress than Republicans? Something like that, 1.5 million, something like that. And we had no chance to take back the House, none. And I don't know how the chance is minimal in 2014. I guess it's within the realm of possibility if they shut down the government again. And the Koch brothers have spent the money there. They did it in Arkansas this year, and for the first time since Reconstruction, Republicans took over the state legislature in Arkansas. In states that all over the map have dramatically changed. All over the map that are split states or blue states, we have somehow state legislatures controlled by Republicans. And then they redraw the map. And then we can't win back the House in 2014 or 2016 or 2018. In Ohio, we covered this yesterday on the Jimmy Dore Show. Podcast will be up soon. I'm sure you guys have talked about it. There are 16 members of Congress from Ohio, and 12 of them are Republicans. 12! It's Ohio.
It's a blue state.
It's a blue state. Marcy Kaptur, just to show one thing that's wrong with, and 2 of those are members of the Congressional Black Caucus, because the Republicans were like, we'll give those seats away. We'll give those seats away, and we'll take every other seat. It's so smart and yet so dangerous.
And the Democrats play along, by the way.
And the Democrats,
districts.
Clownishly play along. And Marcy Kaptur talked about how Ohio's a 50-50 state, which also drove me crazy, because I'm like, we won it 2 straight years. Don't call it a 50-50 state. Like, call it a 52. We won it. We're more Democrats in Ohio than there are Republicans. They voted for Barack Obama twice. They voted for Barack Obama, and they voted for Bill Clinton. They've probably gone 6 of the last 8 elections for Democrats. And yet, somehow, 12 out of 16 seats are Republicans. And that's what the Koch brothers have done.
We need not only to get as much money out of politics as possible through an amendment like Wolfpack is pushing for, but at least, whether we get that or even if we can't get that, we need independent control of the boards that are doing the redistricting. I mean, there's very limited experimentation in the U.S. of that sort of thing, but it should be nonpartisan. And I know that that's incredibly hard to set up, but you cannot allow people with a vested career interest in how these lines are drawn to be doing the drawing of the lines.
Never met. I covered politics in South Carolina a little bit, and I know there are some smart state legislators. I've never met one. Like,
I haven't either.
Like, I am constantly struck by how dim and short-sighted these people are. And they're redrawing the maps for the whole country. They're doing, in many ways, the state
legislatures are using very advanced block-by-block computer modeling simulation programs.
In many ways, these are more important decisions than because then your Congress is set, and you just get your Louis Gohmerts and your Paul Ryans to go out and do whatever the hell you want.
Well, let me tell you something both encouraging and more depressing. So encouraging is I actually have met smart state legislators, because of Wolfpack, we go and talk to them, etc.
Yeah,
and there's good guys, and there's really smart guys at the state level. But here's the discouraging part. There's the Kansas Koch coup. So how do they spend their money? Well, Kansas is already Republican, and their legislature was Republican. But the Koch brothers thought, not good enough. They're not crazy enough. They had organized a coup where they spent a tremendous amount of money on those state legislature seats, and they threw out the so-called moderate Kansas Republicans and put in extreme Koch-backed Republicans.
Moderate Kansas Republicans.
Exactly, right.
You would not want to be in a room with a moderate Kansas Republican.
Sure, I would.
So
Wouldn't
the
mind.
reality is, we're in a race against time,
Right.
because with Citizens United and the fact that it's now money on steroids, they're going to buy up. Like before, they had bought up the national elections. That ship has sailed. National Congress, you have no hope in it. That's why recent poll out in now Gallup has it at 9% approval rating for Congress, the lowest that Gallup has ever measured it, ever. So that's gone. But what they're doing is slowly going up and buying state legislatures. So we got to do an
legislatures have
amendment
always been
before they
bought.
buy them all up.
They've always been bought. It's just in most states, it's the local utility company that's been around for 70 or 80 years that buys them. But I guess with the Koch brothers, they're all tied into that stuff
right.
too.
But
as
it's
well.
a different, the Congress is at 9%. It's harder to influence a national election because even if you can overwhelm it with money, the other side's got money too. The other side, but at some point at the state level, like what they did in Arkansas, what they did in Kansas, you think these Republican legislators in Kansas who were comfortable and feeding their corporate suitors as often as they please, but they weren't totally out. They don't know what hit them. All of a sudden, they got an opponent who's got $675,000, and they're putting billboards everywhere. They're like, "Who runs a radio ad in my district? What am I supposed to do?"
Yeah.
It was. I mean, look, the Koch brothers are smart.
I think, as long as we're going to shit all over the Koch brothers, like, my problem with them is all the global warming and climate change denial that comes out of them. I always feel like free speech, great, but we should maybe pass a bill, just a little small bill somewhere that's like, if in 50 years it really heats up, dude, and we're all, getting on the ark or getting a bunker, you get to stay outside. You don't get the food, you don't get the water, your kids don't, grandchildren don't. Because when everyone looks around, they're like, God, why is it so hot and everybody's starving? Oh, that's right, the Koch brothers stopped us from doing anything about it for 20 years straight when we might have been able to change our ways.
And so we talked about the national elections, the state legislature elections. I just saw today, and we've sort of been hearing about this, but that one of the things ALEC is starting to do nationwide is fighting to not repeal, but amend basically the 17th Amendment. And so the idea would be state legislatures would be allowed to vote to put up a candidate against the major party candidates. So
What's the 17th Amendment? Help a brother out.
So 17th
Direct
Amendment,
election.
They want
elections
to.
of senators.
No, this is the insanity quadruple. They want to roll back direct election of senators. Okay, like they think, no, like we've been killing democracy and we've been killing them softly. Like we've been killing them in all these 18 different ways. Not good enough. Let's just start going after the main artery, right? So you will not be able to elect your senators anymore. We're going to step aside. We're going to do that.
I would love it if they tried to do that because I at least still have some instinct for when I know what they're trying to do won't work. Like instinctively, that will repulse people. The key thing that they do here is that nobody knows about it. Like they'll know about
Who
that.
pays attention to
Right,
local and state
right, people will pay attention, and who
pay
pays
attention
attention
to
to the amount of money being thrown into an Arkansas legislative race.
And
They'll
even
know-
if you did, you wouldn't have the money to match it. You couldn't get your message out that the Koch brothers are buying the election.
Right. But here you'd go out, you'd be like, I can't vote for Rob Portman again? What the hell? You know?
Right. No, I think it's lunacy. And then they got some libertarians to go along with them.
Yeah.
Like, how is it a libertarian thing to let a bunch of political bosses decide who's going to be the next senator from...
Original intent, Cenk, original intent.
Well, that's why we have amendments.
Yeah,
and
no.
you know what was in the original intent? Amendments.